The Eurostar might not have stolen Christmas, but they are for damn sure trying to steal the new year. So let me first say, I am so sorry. I feel your pain to my friends in Europe trying to travel after the end of the Christmas holidays, going into the new year on the Eurostar trains. The news broke in the last several hours about the fact that the train has been down due to, according to Eurostar, some power issues with the overhead lines. And then also there's a shuttle train that moves cars and passengers and such across the region as well that's been having some issues. And so thousands of people have been told, hey, we're sorry, we're going to have to cancel these routes, plan for another day. Well, it's December 30th. What other day do you mean? Because what's going to happen is things are going to roll over from here over into tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day and the next day. It's just going to suck. So I'm so sorry to my friends. I can only imagine how frustrating it must be. We've all had travel delays before, and they suck. And especially when you have great plans you had in mind and you want to make sure you celebrate and connect with loved ones, and then something like this happens. I can only imagine the frustration right now. It absolutely sucks. Oh, it sucks. But I do want to reframe things, because as I was sitting here watching the news, I just so happened I was watching the BBC and I saw the news, and I looked on Twitter and I didn't see much about it. It's still a little early here in the States, but in that part of Europe it's about 6 hours ahead, 5 to 6 hours ahead. So it's the evening there, And I was just thinking, wow, we're not over here in the States. We're not even really talking about it yet. I'm sure in the next few hours it'll really hit the news here. But I just want to talk about the fact that, this is a very symbolic thing. It's the end of the year. It's no small thing that this is happening going into the new year. I read stories about people saying this was the first vacation they'd had all year, and they were so excited about it. This other couple was talking about the fact that they were, I think, heading to Paris, and they were looking forward to having a romantic close of the year and start of the new year in, the romantic city of love. And that got canceled. And I thought about all the stories I read about people saying that this was like, a big deal. It just like really threw off their plans. And it's just how life goes, You can't really know how things are going to turn out, Delays aren't always blessings in the moment, but sometimes they're often information, There's protection sometimes, there's redirection to get you away from a bad situation or out of a bad situation or from going to a bad situation. There's so many reasons why sometimes things happen, And the hardest delays are usually the ones that really mess with our expectations of how we thought life was supposed to go. Those are the ones we really, really, really hate, because it's like, God, I had all these tickets booked, I had all these things planned, and I really wanted to close out the year this way, and for this to happen, it's just life, You just never know how things are going to shake out. And so I just want to invite everybody to breathe. I know that it can be frustrating. I know those people are frustrated. If you want to sound off here I saw this one guy on Twitter saying that Eurostar is really horrible about communicating with passengers when things like this happen. Like they don't give timely updates, or they will go to the news first, but not really tell the passengers. And it's not right. A lot of these corporations, they really take communications and they tuck it at the bottom of their budget. They don't really think about it until things like this happen. Then they want to scramble and call people to come and fix it. And then they want to spend the money that they should have been spending all year long to make sure they had really good comms already set up, And I just want to also encourage anybody from some corporation who should just happen to hear this. Please do not take communications lightly. Please make sure it is a major part of your budget, especially if you're dealing with human contact, with human touch. You are affecting the movement of humans. You need to have good comms, guys. Come on. It's not cool that people are finding out these updates from the news, and they didn't pay the news for these tickets. They paid you guys for the tickets. So come on, do better. But to my friends who are traveling, I hope that you find peace. I know that it sucks, but try to find the silver lining somewhere, you know? Be open to the fact that sometimes things don't work out, but it doesn't mean the door is closed, you know? It just maybe means not yet. And that's probably the best thing I can leave you with. Like, it's going to be festive everywhere. We're going into a new year. Find some place to enjoy the festivities if that's what you should so desire. And look forward to the year ahead. I can almost guarantee you that the reason you didn't make that trip or you can't make that trip is going to turn out to be to your benefit. Happy New Year, guys. I hope that everybody has an amazing rest of the week. You're safe, you are loved and excited and open to the future. Peace.